Hey, everyone, and welcome to this deep dive where we're going to be looking at a pretty interesting concept.
Yeah.
That we might be living under a dome.
It's a mind bender.
It is a total mind bender.
Yeah.
And we're going to be looking at some connections between ancient cosmology and modern simulation theories.
Right.
And the idea of a dome as both a physical and metaphorical boundary.
Absolutely.
And you shared some really fascinating source material with me.
Yeah.
That draws these parallels between like what's in the Bible about the firmament.
Right.
And then contemporary ideas like domed cities and controlled environments like in sci-fi.
Well, it really highlights how these questions about the nature of reality have captivated humanity for centuries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a question we keep coming back to over and over again in different forms.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What is the firmament as described in the book of Genesis?
So in Genesis, the firmament is described as a solid, dome-like structure that separates the waters above from the waters below.
Okay.
It's a vast, impenetrable barrier that encloses the earth and creates the sky.
And you pointed out that the Hebrew word for firmament, rakia,
Right.
actually implies something that is stretched out.
Yeah, like a canopy.
Like a canopy, yeah.
Or a dome.
Yeah, it does make you wonder if those ancient writers were trying to describe something more than just a literal sky, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's really interesting to consider how that connects to those later ideas about the heavens as a separate realm, or even modern theories about simulated realities.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
One of the things that really struck me when I was reading through your sources was this concept of deferment.
Okay.
It suggests that maybe this dome isn't just a physical barrier, but also this symbolic representation of humanity's delayed access to certain knowledge.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that for me a little bit?
Sure. Deferment in this context refers to the idea that humanity is being kept in a state of limited awareness, perhaps for a specific purpose.
Okay.
It's like we're in this cosmic waiting room.
Okay.
And the dome represents that barrier.
Got it.
That prevents us from accessing what lies beyond.
Yeah, that is a bit unsettling, but also
it's
incredibly intriguing.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of all those sci-fi stories where humanity is trapped in a simulated reality.
Yeah.
And there's that underlying tension between wanting to know the truth and the fear of what that truth might unleash.
It's a recurring theme throughout history and across different cultures.
Yeah.
This tension between ignorance and enlightenment.
It's like we have this desire to understand.
Yes.
But there are these forces that keep us from it.
Internal, external, yeah. Over.
You also mentioned that this idea of a dome-like structure isn't limited to just ancient cosmology.
Right.
It seems to pop up in a lot of modern discussions about simulated realities.
Right.
What do you think is driving that connection?
Well, I think the dome serves as a very powerful metaphor for any kind of boundary or limitation on human perception.
Yeah.
In the context of simulation theory, the dome could represent the technological constraints of the simulated environment, or even just the deliberate manipulation of our perception by those who created the simulation.
So like this invisible wall that's keeping us within a certain realm of experience.
Precisely. And that confinement could be physical.
Right.
It could be mental. It could even be spiritual. It's just the limits of our understanding.
Yeah.
And it's only by pushing against those limits that we can hope to glimpse what might lie beyond.
You know, you mentioned sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I know you're a sci-fi fan too.
Big time.
So one of the things that really caught my eye was this theory you shared about AI potentially being involved in building ancient civilizations.
It's a fascinating idea.
It is. It's a really fascinating idea, isn't it?
Especially when you consider all those mysteries surrounding ancient structures.
Right.
Like, you know, the pyramids, Stonehenge. These structures exhibit such a level of precision and complexity that it seems to defy the technological capabilities of the time.
Based on what we think we know.
Based on what we think we know, from conventional history.
Exactly.
I've always been fascinated by those ancient megalithic structures.
Yeah.
It's so hard to imagine how they were built.
Right.
With the tools and techniques that we believe were available back then.
Exactly.
It almost seems like they had some kind of help from a more advanced civilization.
And that's where the idea of AI comes in.
Right.
Or even ancient robots.
Right. So what if these impossible feats of engineering were achieved with the assistance of some technology?
Some advanced technology.
That's more advanced than what we think they had.
That we haven't rediscovered yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And you mentioned in your notes that you have some thoughts on how this connects to ancient myths.
Yes.
Something about robots and gods.
Well, think about it.
Right.
Many ancient cultures have all these myths about gods who possessed these incredible powers and knowledge, often associated with technology and craftsmanship.
Okay.
For example, like the Greek god Hephaestus was said to have created automatons, self-operating machines, in his forge.
Wow.
These descriptions sound remarkably similar to the robots we're developing today.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is.
What about those flying machines?
Oh, yeah, the Vimanas.
The Vimanas, described in ancient Indian texts.
Right.
Those seem to defy
our understanding of aerodynamics.
Our understanding of everything.
Yeah, propulsion, all that.
Yeah. Could they have been powered by some kind of lost ancient technology?
Well, it's certainly possible.
It's interesting.
It is.
And let's not forget about the Sumerian myths about the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, yeah.
These beings who descended to Earth. And, according to some interpretations, used advanced technology to manipulate DNA.
Yeah, and to create humans.
Right. Some theorists believe that the Anunnaki might have employed robotic labor.
Possibly.
Or even AI in their endeavors.
Which could explain that rapid development of complex societies in the ancient world.
That's right.
Yeah.
So are we saying that these ancient myths might be more than just stories?
It's a very compelling idea, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Could they be distorted memories of actual encounters with some advanced beings or technologies that have just been lost to time?
That's right. It's like remnants of a time when humanity had a more direct connection to higher realms of knowledge or technology.
It raises so many questions about the nature of our history.
Absolutely.
And the possibility that we've been deliberately kept in the dark about our true origins. And that brings us to another intriguing aspect of your inquiry.
Okay.
This idea of energy harvesting.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit creepy, too.
A little bit, yeah.
So you mentioned that one of the theories you came across is that we might be the energy source for the simulation.
Like batteries powering a giant computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So it's based on the idea that consciousness itself might be a form of energy.
Okay.
And that this energy could be harnessed or manipulated
okay.
by entities with advanced technology.
Okay.
So in the context of a simulated reality, we might be unwitting participants in this system that's designed to extract this energy for some unknown purpose.
Okay, I have to admit,
it's a wild concept.
That is a wild concept.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not entirely out there when you think about how much emphasis is placed on, like, controlling and manipulating.
Yeah. Controlling and manipulating
human emotion.
Human emotions, yeah.
Especially in today's world.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the media.
The media.
Social media, advertising.
All of it.
It seems like it's all designed to keep us in this constant state of fear or outrage or desire.
That's a very astute observation.
Yeah.
And it aligns with another theory you mentioned in your notes.
Okay.
The idea that negative emotions might be more potent or nutritious for entities that are harvesting energy.
Okay.
It's a disturbing thought, but
it's a little disturbing.
It does make you wonder if the systems that we live under are deliberately designed to cultivate those negative emotions and amplify them.
That is, that's a chilling thought.
It is.
It makes sense when you look at how much negativity is just like pumped into our lives constantly through the media, politics, and even just our social interactions. It's like we were being constantly bombarded with this information.
Yes.
That's designed to trigger fear and anger and division.
It really is.
Yeah. This is all so mind-blowing. It's like
we're
peeling back the layers of reality and things might be far more complex and interconnected than we ever imagined.
Yeah, and we're just getting started.
Oh, boy.
There's so much more to unravel.
Okay.
Connections to explore.
All right, well, let's take a break here.
Okay.
And when we come back, I want to delve deeper into these ideas about enlightenment.
Right.
And how we might be able to break free from this negative energy loop if it truly exists.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about some pretty intense stuff.
Yeah, we were.
This idea that our reality might be designed to keep us in this state of negativity, perhaps to harvest our energy. And you brought up a really important point about how this could be related to cognitive dissonance.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is it.
This idea that our minds have a defense mechanism to protect us from ideas that might threaten our understanding of the world.
It's almost like we'd rather cling to a familiar lie than face an unsettling truth, right?
Absolutely. And the more deeply ingrained those beliefs are, the stronger the resistance.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you start talking about simulation theory and energy harvesting and the possibility that everything we thought we knew about reality is an illusion, well, that can trigger a pretty strong reaction.
Yeah, it totally can.
In some people.
Especially when you consider the conditioning we've all been subjected to. I mean, think about it. From our education systems to the media, everything we consume, we're just constantly being bombarded with these messages that reinforce the dominant narrative. You know, so it makes it so hard to step outside of that box and really question those foundational beliefs.
And let's not forget the social pressure.
That too.
To conform.
For sure.
Like admitting that you even entertain these ideas, like simulation theory. You can quickly get labeled as like out there, crazy, you know?
Or like you're wearing a tinfoil hat.
Exactly.
But what if those crazy ideas are closer to the truth? Than the comfortable narratives that we're all being told to accept.
That's the challenge, isn't it?
It is. We're conditioned to accept certain realities. Even when those realities might be based on shaky foundations.
That's right. So
how do we break free from this?
Well, it's a tricky thing.
It is.
You know, how do we have these conversations about alternative possibilities without, you know, triggering those defense mechanisms and pushing people further away?
It feels like walking a tightrope.
It's a delicate balance.
It is,
There's no magic formula.
Okay.
But I think one important approach is to meet people where they are.
Okay.
You know? Start by acknowledging their fears and concerns and fostering a sense of curiosity rather than judgment.
So instead of trying to like force feed them information, it's more about asking questions.
Exactly.
Gently nudging them to consider these different perspectives.
Little by little.
Would you say that's fair?
I think we can introduce these concepts gradually. You know, kind of weave them into conversations about current events, science, philosophy, pop culture even.
For sure.
Like movies like The Matrix have planted the seeds. You know?
Totally.
It's just a matter of nurturing those seeds and helping them sprout.
And maybe sometimes sharing personal anecdotes can be helpful too. You know?
I agree.
Like those moments of synchronicity.
Absolutely.
Or those like glitch in the matrix experiences that make us question our own reality.
Like those moments where you're just like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
What just happened? And that authenticity and vulnerability can be incredibly disarming. It creates a space for genuine connection and open-mindedness. And, you know, even if someone doesn't fully embrace those ideas right away, that simple act of planting those seeds can have a profound impact.
That's true.
Over time.
Sometimes it just takes a while for those seeds to germinate.
That's right.
But what about the people who just seem so deeply entrenched in the system that they just actively resist any information that challenges their worldview? It can feel almost impossible to reach those people.
You're right.
You know?
It's a real challenge, you know, in those cases.
I
think it's important to remember we can't force anyone to wake up. You know? Some people are perfectly content within the confines of the system, and that's okay.
I guess so.
Our focus should be on our own journey. Our own evolution. And allowing others to do the same at their own pace.
That makes sense. It's not about trying to convert everyone to our way of thinking.
Exactly.
But rather creating that space for possibility for those who are seeking it.
That's it.
You know?
That's all we can do.
But I got to be honest, it is frustrating when you see people defending a system that's so clearly harmful. You know?
I understand.
A system that perpetuates suffering. And keeps us trapped in this negativity loop.
It's tough to watch.
It is. So how do we deal with that frustration without getting sucked back into that energy vortex ourselves?
That's where the spiritual practices come in.
You
know, not just for personal growth, but for self-preservation. Mindfulness, meditation, gratitude, connecting with nature. Those are all powerful tools for cultivating inner peace, raising our vibration, and detaching from that negativity that feeds the system.
It's like building up a kind of energetic immunity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, by raising our own vibration, by embodying those qualities of love, compassion, and understanding, we can start to shift the collective consciousness, one interaction at a time.
It's a beautiful vision.
It is.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have to believe it's possible.
Me too.
I mean, history is full of examples of individuals who spark these revolutions.
That's right.
Simply by embodying a different way of being.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Like Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa.
You got it.
They challenged the status quo not through force or aggression, but through love and compassion.
Love and compassion.
And their energy was so powerful, so infectious, that it ignited a fire in the hearts of millions, leading to some really profound social change.
Powerful examples.
They are.
Yeah.
And it highlights this important point, that real change often starts from within. It's about transforming ourselves first.
Yes.
And then allowing that transformation to ripple outward.
I love that.
So maybe, just maybe, that's the key to breaking free from this simulated dome. This prison without bars.
Right.
It's not about fighting the system. But about transcending it.
Transcending it.
It's about reclaiming our energy.
Yes.
Cultivating our own inner light.
Beautiful.
And shining it so brightly. That it illuminates the path for others to follow.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's beautifully said. And it actually brings to mind something you said earlier. About ancient wisdom and spiritual practices.
Yeah.
Do you think those ancient traditions
I do.
might hold some clues about how to navigate these challenges?
They offer invaluable insights. Yeah.
And potentially even break free from this system.
I think so, yeah. Many ancient cultures had this deep understanding of interconnectedness, of the subtle energies that flow through the universe, and the power of consciousness to shape reality.
It's like they had a different way of seeing the world.
Yeah, they did.
You know, a way that was more in tune with nature.
And the cycles of life.
Yeah, and cycles of life for sure.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating how those traditions have persisted.
Isn't it?
For centuries.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Passed down through generations.
It makes you wonder if they tapped into something profound. Something we've lost touch with.
Totally.
In our modern world.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And maybe by rediscovering those ancient practices. Integrating them into our modern lives.
Exactly.
We can start to bridge that gap.
Yeah, and reclaim a more holistic understanding of ourselves and the universe.
You mentioned dream work, which I think is so fascinating.
Dream work is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
It makes me think about how dreams operate outside of the rules of like time and space.
It's like our minds are tapping into a different reality.
It is a realm where anything is possible.
Right.
It's like those dreams are trying to tell us something.
I think so.
You know.
To nudge us towards a deeper understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe by listening to those whispers.
Right.
By following those threads of intuition.
Yeah.
We can start to unravel the mysteries of the dome.
Yes.
See beyond those illusions.
Absolutely.
And step into our full potential as conscious creators of reality.
That's the goal.
It is.
Yeah.
This is so inspiring.
It is, isn't it?
It feels like we're on the verge of something big.
I think so.
You know?
Yeah.
A collective awakening.
That could transform our world in ways we can't imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's time we address the elephant in the room, or the dome in the sky.
Okay, let's do it.
If we're living in this simulated reality, if our energy is being harvested, if our perceptions are being manipulated, what can we actually do about it?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
I don't think there's a simple answer.
Okay.
But I do believe awareness is the first step. You know?
Yeah.
Once we recognize the game, we can start to play it differently.
So it's not about trying to fight the system, but about transcending it.
Exactly.
Changing the way we interact with it.
Yes, reclaiming our power.
Okay.
Our sovereignty.
Okay.
Making conscious choices that align with our highest values.
That sounds good in theory.
It does.
But can you give me some concrete examples?
Sure.
What are some practical steps we can take to reclaim our energy and maybe even disrupt the system?
Well, one of the most powerful tools we have is our attention.
Okay.
You know, like we can choose to focus our attention on things that uplift us.
Okay.
that inspire us, that connect us to our true nature, rather than things that drain our energy, trigger negativity, and keep us trapped in those cycles of fear and anxiety.
So it's about being mindful of where we're directing our energy, both internally and externally.
Absolutely. It applies to everything, from the media we consume to the people we surround ourselves with, to the thoughts we allow to dominate our minds.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You mentioned the media earlier. I think that's a good example of how we can start to shift our focus. Instead of passively consuming whatever's being thrown at us, we can be more selective.
Absolutely.
About the information that we let in.
Seek out sources that align with our values.
That offer different perspectives,
That challenge us to think critically.
Right. Exactly. And it's not just about consuming different information. It's about being aware.
Being aware of how it's affecting us.
Of how it affects us,
Are we allowing ourselves to be triggered? By fear-mongering headlines?
Are we engaging in those online debates that just amplify negativity?
Exactly. Are we choosing to step back and observe and discern and respond in ways that are aligned with our higher selves?
It's about cultivating that inner discernment, to see through the noise and stay focused on what really matters.
And sometimes that means taking breaks from technology, disconnecting from the constant stream of information and stimulation, and just allowing ourselves to reconnect with nature, with our bodies, with our heart, with our own inner wisdom.
It's like hitting the reset button.
Exactly.
Giving ourselves a chance to clear our minds, recharge, and come back with a fresh perspective.
That's it.
And it brings us to another important aspect of reclaiming our power. Which is cultivating practices that nourish our souls. And strengthen our connection to our true nature.
Our true nature.
You mentioned mindfulness, meditation, gratitude, spending time in nature.
All those good things.
So can you talk a little bit more about how those practices can help us navigate all this?
Well, mindfulness helps us to become more aware of our thoughts, our emotions, and our sensations without judgment. It's about developing that inner observer, that witness consciousness that allows us to step back from the drama of our mind and just see things more clearly.
It's like creating a space between ourselves and our thoughts.
Exactly.
So that we're not constantly being swept away by them.
You got it.
Yeah.
And meditation takes this a step further by training our minds to become more focused, more present, and more peaceful.
And I've always been drawn to meditation.
Oh, good.
But I struggle to maintain a regular practice.
It's common.
It is.
It's hard to be consistent.
So any tips for someone like me?
Sure.
Who's trying to establish a consistent routine?
Well, consistency is key. But it's important to be gentle with yourself. And to start with small, manageable steps. Even just 5 or 10 minutes each day can make a big difference.
That's good.
There are so many different styles of meditation to explore. So finding one that resonates with you is crucial. Whether it's guided meditation, mindfulness meditation, walking meditation, or something else. The most important thing is to find a practice that feels nourishing and supportive.
That's great advice. And what about gratitude?
Gratitude is amazing.
It is.
It's a game changer. When we focus on what we're grateful for, even in the midst of challenges, we shift our energy from a state of lack and scarcity to a state of abundance and appreciation.
I like that.
It's like tuning into a different frequency. A frequency of joy, love, and possibility.
And it's something we can practice anytime and anywhere.
Absolutely. It doesn't require any special equipment or training. Just pause for a moment and reflect on the things you're grateful for. Your health, your loved ones, the beauty of nature, the simple pleasures of life.
That's good.
And the more we practice gratitude, the more we train our minds to focus on the positive, which has a profound impact on our well-being and our ability to navigate challenging situations.
It's like we're rewiring our brains to see the good.
Exactly.
Even in the midst of darkness.
That's a great way to put it.
And that brings us to another important part. Which is cultivating a strong connection to nature.
Nature is so important.
It is. I've always felt this deep sense of peace and connection when I'm in nature. Like all my worries and anxieties just melt away.
That's the magic of nature.
It is.
You know, it reminds us of our interconnectedness.
Right.
Of the cycles of life and death. Of the vastness and mystery of the universe.
Okay.
And when we spend time in nature, we're exposed to negative ions, which have been shown to have a calming and uplifting effect on our mood and energy.
Interesting.
And we're also reminded of that inherent beauty and harmony of the natural world, which helps us to reconnect with our own inner peace and sense of belonging.
It's like nature is a portal.
It is.
To a different reality.
A more grounded reality.
A more grounded reality.
A more balanced reality.
Yeah, more balanced, more in tune with the rhythms of life.
That's beautiful.
And I think it's something we can all benefit from.
We can.
Whether it's taking a walk in the park, hiking in the mountains,
swimming in the ocean,
sitting under a tree, just observing the beauty.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Spending time in nature, it's a powerful way to recharge, to clear our mind, and reconnect with our true essence.
This has been such an insightful and inspiring conversation.
It has.
I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for navigating these challenges and creating a more conscious and empowered reality.
That's the goal.
Any final thoughts?
Remember, you're not alone in this journey.
Oh, that's nice.
There are countless others who are waking up, questioning the status quo, seeking a more meaningful and fulfilling way of life. Connect with those people, share your experiences, support each other, and together we can create a ripple effect.
I love that.
That will transform our world.
That's beautifully said. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the dome.
It's been a pleasure.
I hope this conversation has inspired you to look at the world with fresh eyes.
Me too.
To question your assumptions.
Yes.
And to embrace the power you have to create a reality that reflects your highest vision. To all of you listening, thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep asking questions, and keep shining your light.
Good words.
All right, so welcome back to our deep dive into the dome.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot.
We have.
Ancient cosmology, simulation theory, the possibility that our reality might be designed to harvest our energy.
It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But the big question, if this is all true, what can we actually do about it?
Right.
How do we navigate this system that seems designed to keep us distracted, divided, and disempowered?
That's the challenge we face.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to climb this mountain, but we keep getting pulled down by gravity.
By the gravity of the system.
By the gravity of the system,
Yeah.
But I'm also feeling this sense of hope.
Yeah.
Knowing that we have the power to make different choices.
And we do.
Yeah.
We have the power. We might not be able to change the whole system overnight.
Right.
But we can change how we interact with it.
So it's about taking back control of our lives.
Yes.
Our thoughts.
Our thoughts.
Our emotions, our actions.
All of it.
Rather than being controlled by these external forces.
It's about becoming conscious creators of our reality.
Okay.
Not just passive consumers of the narratives and distractions.
Right. That sounds great.
It does.
But what does it look like in practice?
All right, good question.
What are some specific examples of how we can break free?
Well, one of the most powerful tools we have is our attention.
Okay.
We can choose to focus our attention on things that uplift us.
Okay.
That inspire us, that connect us to our true nature.
Yeah, I like that.
Rather than things that drain our energy.
Yeah.
Trigger negativity and keep us trapped in fear and anxiety.
So being mindful of where we're directing our energy, both internally and externally.
Exactly.
That applies to everything, from the media we consume.
Right. The media.
To the people we're around, to the thoughts we allow in our minds.
Our thoughts.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We were talking about the media before.
Right.
I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah, it's a good example.
Instead of passively consuming.
Right. Just taking in whatever's thrown at us.
Whatever they throw at us, yeah.
Yeah.
We could be more selective.
We can choose.
We can choose, yeah.
To seek out sources that align with our values.
Okay.
That offer alternative perspectives.
Right, that challenge us to think differently.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
And it's not just about consuming different information.
Right.
But being aware of how that information affects us.
Right, how it makes us feel.
How it makes us feel, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we allowing ourselves to be triggered?
Right, by the headlines, by the negativity.
By those headlines, you know, those fear-mongering headlines.
Yeah.
Those sensationalized stories.
Are we getting sucked into those online debates?
Exactly. That just create more negativity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or are we stepping back taking a breath, observing, discerning, and choosing to respond in a way that's aligned with our higher selves.
It's like developing that muscle of discernment.
The muscle of discernment.
To see through the noise and stay focused on what's important.
And sometimes that means taking breaks from technology. You know, disconnecting from that constant stream of information.
Right, and just allowing ourselves to reconnect with
nature.
Yeah, nature, ourselves, our body.
Our bodies, our hearts, our own inner wisdom.
So like hitting that reset button, right?
Exactly. Clearing the cache.
Clearing the cache, yeah. And we can come back with this fresh perspective.
A fresh perspective.
So cultivating practices that nourish our souls.
Right.
You know, strengthen that connection to our true nature.
Our true nature.
You mentioned mindfulness, meditation, gratitude. Spending time in nature.
Nature, yeah.
How can those practices help us?
Well, mindfulness helps us to be more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment.
Without judgment, yeah.
It's like developing that inner observer. That witness consciousness.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that allows us to step back from the drama of our minds and see things more clearly.
It's like creating that space between ourselves and our thoughts.
That's it.
So we're not constantly swept away.
Exactly. You're not identified with every thought that pops up.
And meditation takes that a step further.
Meditation takes it further.
Okay.
It trains the mind to be more focused, more present, more peaceful.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Quieting the mental chatter, accessing those deeper states of awareness.
Yeah, I've always been drawn to meditation.
Yeah, it's a powerful practice.
It is, but I struggle to be consistent.
I think that's a common struggle.
It is.
It's hard to make it a habit.
Okay, so any tips for someone like me?
Sure, consistency is key. But be gentle with yourself.
All right.
Start with small steps.
Small steps, yeah.
Even 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a big difference.
Okay.
You know, there are so many different styles of meditation.
Right, yeah.
So finding one that resonates with you is important.
Okay.
Whether it's guided meditation, mindfulness meditation, walking meditation.
Yeah, I heard of all those.
Yeah. The most important thing is to find a practice that feels good.
Okay.
Nourishing and supportive.
And what about gratitude?
Gratitude is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Okay.
When we focus on what we're grateful for, even when things are tough, we shift our energy from lack and scarcity to abundance and appreciation.
I like that.
It's like tuning into a different frequency, a frequency of joy, love, and possibility.
And we can practice that anytime, anywhere.
Absolutely.
We don't need anything special.
No, just pause for a moment.
Okay.
Reflect on what you're grateful for.
That's easy enough.
Your health, loved ones, the beauty of nature.
Right, the simple things.
The simple things, yeah.
Yeah.
And the more we practice gratitude, the more we train our minds to focus on the positive.
Okay.
And that can have a huge impact on our well-being.
Right, and our ability to handle challenging situations.
Exactly. It's like rewiring our brains to see the good.
Right, even when things are tough.
Even in the midst of darkness.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And cultivating a strong connection to nature.
Nature's so important.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, I've always felt so much peace when I'm in nature.
Me too.
It's like all the worries and anxieties just fade away.
That's the magic of nature.
It is. It really is.
It reminds us of our interconnectedness.
Okay.
Of the cycles of life and death, the vastness of the universe.
It puts things in perspective.
It does, yeah. And when we spend time in nature, we're exposed to those negative ions.
Right.
Which can have a calming and uplifting effect.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And we're reminded of the beauty and harmony of the natural world.
Yeah.
Which helps us reconnect with our own inner peace.
Right. It's like nature is a portal to a different reality.
It is a more grounded reality.
You're a grounded reality, yeah.
A balanced.
More balanced, more in tune with the rhythms of life.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. I think it's something we can all benefit from.
I agree.
Whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the woods, swimming in the ocean.
Or just sitting under a tree.
Yeah, observing.
Yeah.
This has been such a great conversation.
It has.
I feel like I have a whole new toolkit.
I'm glad to hear that.
For navigating these challenges and creating a better reality.
That's what it's all about.
Any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
Just remember, you're not alone on this journey.
That's good.
There are so many people waking up, questioning the status quo, looking for a better way.
Yeah.
Connect with those people. Share your experiences. Support each other.
Yeah, I love that.
And together, we can create a ripple effect that will change the world.
That's beautifully said. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
To everyone listening, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
I hope this conversation has inspired you to look at the world differently.
Me too.
To question your assumptions.
Yes.
And embrace your power to create a reality that reflects your highest vision.
That's it.
Keep diving deep, keep asking questions, and keep shining your light.
Beautiful.